Hear about local schools seeing improved standardized test scores from last year.
Then, the first American wins the Boston Marathon.
And later we have the latest on the area trial.
From the University of Georgia, a student production of the Grady College of Journalism, this is Grady News Source.
We have reports of a shooting at a mall in Northwest Georgia. I'm Brianna Belser.
And I'm Chrissy Robinson, and we'll have more on that shooting later in a few moments.
While the school year is coming to a close, grades are just now coming in for the 2012-2013 academic year. Pauline Villanueva joins us live from the newsroom to tell us how Georgia schools scored. Pauline?
That's right, Brianna. Grades are in for Georgia schools, and it's good news as most schools are seeing improved scores from last year. The Georgia Department of Education released scores for the 2012 to 2013 school year based on the College and Career Ready Performance Index. This year's state average was 75.8. Jefferson City schools received the highest score at 89.5. Oconee County also scored high at 87.5, up slightly from last year's score of 85.7. Madison County scored above the state average with a score of 81.4, while Oglethorpe County received a 74.1, up 3 points from last year. Clark County, however, didn't do as well as the others with a score of 68.8, which is below last year's 69.3 score. More data also shows us that the state's elementary and middle schools have improved more over the past 2 years than high schools. Georgia's elementary schools improved from last year's average score of 74.9 to a score of 78.5. Middle schools scored 75, up from last year's 73.9, while high schools received a score of 72, down 1 point from last year. These scores take into account achievement and progress, mainly based on student test scores. Live from the newsroom, I'm Pauline Villanueva. Back to you in the studio.
We're working this story. Shots were fired at Cobb County's Cumberland Mall today around 2 p.m. A man and a woman were having an argument in the parking lot when a bystander intervened. Police believe a man shot the woman while aiming for the bystander. Investigators are currently gathering information about the situation. Later in the show, we'll have an update for you.
Georgia online tuition is set to drop for the first time. An online system called eCore focuses on core classes that every Georgia State College or university student must take. This is the first time the system's Board of Regents has lowered tuition for the online program since 1999. Credit hour charges are decreasing from $189 to $97.27. Classes are suggested to drop $20 per credit hour.
Bicycles are a transportation staple for many UGA students, and new repair stations are popping up all over campus to make riding safer and more accessible. Reporter Andrew James has the latest on where these stations are and why they are beneficial for cyclers.
Ownerless bikes sit along crowded racks on campus, with most of them simply in need of a pump.
Most students, they've just got a bike, and they may not have those tools at hand. So now one little thing goes wrong and their bike ends up sitting on the rack for 6 months because they just don't have the time or the resources to deal with it.
But now there's these stations, 4 of them, one beside the main library, on Myers Quad, the Miller Learning Center, and at the Ramsey Center. Lance Haney teaches bike repair workshops and says the stations let cyclists take care of needed repairs in between classes.
Campus is an elongated stretch of area, so if you're in the middle of campus and you have a flat tire, but if something is here on campus that you can use.
And getting a flat tire is no joke for students stuck on campus like Landon Bubb.
I didn't really have the resources to go home, get my bike pumped, get everything and come back.
Thanks to a sustainability grant putting 3 more stations on campus, students can inflate their tires with ease.
And for a novice cyclist, it's as easy as pulling up, putting up, and scanning the QR code.
Haney says the code will push cyclists to a site when they're in a bind.
You can scan it with your mobile phone, and it takes you to step-by-step instructions on how to adjust your brakes or how to tighten your gear cable.
Some students say there can still be more.
At least 1 per every housing community, maybe 1 per area on campus.
And if the need is there, the extra stations may follow.
If more students start using them and we see a need, I would love to see 2-3 times as many bike racks around campus for people to use.
Andrew James, Grady News Source.
Good news for Hall County, as their Board of Commissioners will host 2 ribbon-cutting ceremonies next week. They mark the opening of 2 new fire stations. County officials say these openings will improve response times, lower home insurance premiums, and offer a higher level of protection to many citizens.
Some not so good news for Hall County. Animal Control confirmed another case of rabies. This is the 6th time in 2014. The latest incident occurred last week when a raccoon was in contact with a domesticated dog. If you live in the area and see an animal acting abnormally, please contact Hall County Animal Services. Pet owners are also encouraged to vaccinate their pets for rabies.
Speaking of pets, the Hall County Animal Shelter brings puppies to Brenau University campus this week. This is a win-win situation as the students will be provided with some quick stress relief and the puppies will have some time to play. Program coordinator for Hall County Animal Shelter hopes this will also encourage students to volunteer at the shelter in the future.
Georgia is making a big solar energy push. The state saw a 225% increase in the jobs related to the solar energy industry in the past year. The increase comes as Georgia plays catch-up to match the other states that have already made solar energy improvements. The jump comes largely from Georgia Power's program to add a solar generating capacity, according to the Solar Energy Industries Association. Georgia currently has 146 solar companies, which account for about 2,600 jobs statewide. 1,800 of them came in the previous year.
In other state news, today is the deadline to register to vote in the state primary elections. State residents with a driver's license can register online or through the My Voter page application on their mobile device. Georgia is the first state to offer online registration and a mobile application to enable voter registration. The primary election takes place on May 20th.
Now, we've gotten really lucky today with some great weather, Andrew. What's in store for the rest of the week?
Well, you're right, Chris. We got very lucky today. It was cold this morning, but it ended up being a very nice spring-like day. How about that? Well, currently for tonight, you're sitting around 78 degrees. That's a little bit warmer than it actually is. It feels probably in the low 70s with a westerly wind around 5 miles an hour. And you're going to see that as well get cooler in the evening time when it gets down to the mid-50s with a westerly wind around 5 miles an hour. That's going to feel really nice, not too warm, not too cold around your area. For tonight, it's going to see around 56 degrees here in Gainesville, 56 as well here in Athens, like I said before, and 58 in Commerce. Now, that's going to be a little warmer than usual, but as you can see all around this area, it's going to be in the mid-50s, not too warm and not really too cold. A very nice spring evening, gearing us up for not such a very nice spring day when showers move in. Now, showers will be moving in, like I said, around the mid-afternoon time. It's going to be still a very warm day, 79 degrees, with a really, really long, fast wind, 20 miles per hour. So having an umbrella may not be advisable with this wind coming in. 60% chance of precipitation for tomorrow. How are you going to get set up for that day? Well, in the morning, it's going to be really sunny, 61. And now around the noon time, it's going to be partly cloudy. Those showers will be moving in a little bit off and on. Really heavy sometimes and really drizzly at others around the 2 to 3 o'clock hour as you're in the middle of your workday. And as you go home, you're going to see it kind of move into the cool down a little bit. And you're going to see it, though, still remain rainy all the way through the evening. Now, as you're setting up for tomorrow's highs, like I said, it's going to be really wet all through the day, but still relatively warm. That's that spring weather here to stay. And, you know, it's going to be really wet, but like I said, 78 through this lower part here and 79 right in the Athens area. Now, gearing up for your 5-day forecast, you're going to see those showers come in, 60% chance Tuesday with some AM showers coming in Friday morning. All that's going to really do is get the pollen out of your way for your weekend. Not going to bother you at all as you get started with your workday on Friday. And yes, those are 80-degree marks for this weekend. It's going to be a really nice weekend, and I'll have more on that coming up later in today's show. Back to you.
Next, we have info about the Boston Marathon winner 1 year after the bombings.
And later, we have details on a local track team winning a title after dominating an event over the weekend.
Here's to the things that can keep us safe. Those we use all the time with hardly a thought. Those that are silently standing by to save our lives. And now, those that we carry with us everywhere we go. Many mobile devices will now bring you wireless emergency alerts, real-time information directly from local sources you know and trust. With the unique sound and vibration, you'll be in the know wherever you are.
up on sex, don't give up on birth control either. There are more methods than you think. Find yours at bedsider.org.
Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
Know what?
What?
Since I got adopted, I've learned a lot about these humans.
I know. I mean, check out these two. It's Flirt City over here.
Yeah, I noticed that. It looks like my human is definitely into your human.
Oh, look! I think she's getting his number.
Nice.
Your human's got some sweet moves.
Takes after his dog. Oh, look, they're doing that thing where they put their arms around each other.
She kicked up a leg. It's like in the movies.
That's awesome. Looks like we're going to be hanging out a little bit more.
In international and national news, the Boston Marathon saw an incredible win by the first American male since 1983, finishing with a time of 2 hours and 8 minutes. The three-time Olympian is a 38-year-old from San Diego. Meb Keflezighi ran the race wearing an official runner's bib with the names of the 3 people killed in the last year's marathon. The last American to win the Boston Marathon was Greg Meyer, who recorded a time of 2 hours and 9 minutes. Stay tuned on the story. We will have more on the Athens' involvement in the Boston Marathon.
A legal battle between a television streaming startup and major broadcasting network is heating up, and the verdict could quite possibly determine the future of television. Reporter Brianna Watts joins us live in the newsroom with updates.
That's right, Chrissy. Big-name media companies like ABC, NBC, and CBS are waging a legal war against startup business Aereo Incorporated. The base of the battle is coming from concerns with Aereo offering free over-the-air programming for portable devices and charging the public for it. Now, this is a little bit different from a service provider like Dish Network because that company pays ABC, CBS, and similar programs to air their program. Broadcasters are suing Aereo for copyright infringement, saying Aereo should pay for redistributing the programming the same way cable and satellite systems do. These networks are increasingly reliant on these retransmission fees, estimated at $3.3 billion last year, and are predicted to increase to more than $7 billion by 2018. Dish Network and EchoStar Technologies call Aereo novel, but also note that the company is among technologies that use the internet more cheaply and more conveniently. Time Warner Incorporated said in a court filing, Aereo is simply a blatant free rider, trying to make a quick buck without paying anything toward the true cost of what it misappropriates. A decision by the Supreme Court could completely redefine the copyright landscape and could change how Americans access content both on television and over the internet. Live in the newsroom, I'm Brenna Watts. Back to you in the studios.
The Justice Department plans to expand new clemency rules for drug offenders this week. This could be good news for thousands of federal prisoners that have been convicted of nonviolent drug crimes. The Justice Department thinks thousands of new applications for presidential clemency will arise following the announcement. Even though the rules were recently changed, many remain in prison as they were sentenced under the old system, which treated offenses more harshly for crack cocaine than for powder cocaine.
Although drug offenders may be getting off easy, one beverage company may not. Palm Wonderful is a small drink company which has taken the Coca-Cola company to court over misleading statements in advertising. Palm Wonderful Coke says Coke Minute Maid drink named pomegranate blueberry juice was low in juice content. The bigger question, though, is whether one company can sue another for a misleading label. In an email statement, Coca-Cola says it's committed to labeling its products in accordance with all applicable FDA regulations. Palm expects a finalized ruling this summer, as they have been accused of misleading advertisement in the past.
Kraft Foods is also facing a national issue. The company is recalling 96,000 pounds of hot dogs because of incorrect packaging. The hot dog packages may have contained cheese dogs without telling customers that the foods contained milk. Kraft made a statement on its Facebook page saying it was voluntarily recalling the hot dogs because of the mislabeling. The hot dogs were distributed throughout the U.S.
An accused gang member is dead today after a U.S. Marshal shot him in a Salt Lake City courthouse. Ciel Angelou was shot in the chest several times while rushing the witness stand with a pen. Angelou was on trial for racketeering charges in connection with gang activity. A mistrial was declared after the shooting, and the courthouse was closed temporarily.
Across the world, a South Korean ferry sunk because of the actions of the captain and some crew members. At least 87 people have died and 215 others remain missing. Most of the victims are students and teachers who were on a field trip from a high school near Seoul. Lee Seok was the captain of the ship and is facing a series of criminal charges for his role in the sinking. A radio transcript suggests the passengers of the ship couldn't reach lifeboats to escape because the ship tidaled so quickly.
Moving over to Africa, terrorists have kidnapped more than 200 Nigerian girls. A racial Islamist group called Boko Haram dragged young girls from their school for attending classes. The school headmistress, Asabe Kwambara, said the parents of the girls had reported them missing, but 40 managed to escape. The group opposes the education of girls, and it has kidnapped many in the past to use as cooks and sex slaves.
Next, hear about a local track team capturing their first regional title.
Later, we'll tell you when the First Lady is coming to a television near you.
Okay, so we drowned the fire, stirred it, drowned it again, and now just feel if it's cold.
Yeah.
Cool.
Smokey just gave me a bear hug.
I know. Already posted it.
Maybe he's really focused.
Hey, Michael. Michael. Maybe he likes spinning the wheels.
Maybe he just loves trucks.
Maybe he's just being a boy.
Preoccupation with objects is one early sign of autism. Learn the others today. The sooner it's diagnosed, the better.
I already knew that I was going to go to college, from a young age. I definitely want to major in political science. After that, I'm going to get my law degree. Then I'm going to come back to Detroit, boost the economy, become the mayor or something, try to make the situation better for other people. I feel like I owe it to the city. I'm determined. It's going to happen. My name is Justin, and I am your dividend.
I've got a job to do today.
I've got a job to do today.
Have a good first day at work, Mom.
Your donations to Goodwill fund job training programs right in your community.
Feels good to start fresh, right?
Sure does. And like that, you're a job creator.
I'm joined by sports anchor Ashley Rosenberg, and I hear some Athens residents participated in this year's Boston Marathon.
Yes, Brianna, today was a big day for all of America as they watched the annual Boston Marathon with anticipation. But for some Athens families, it hit closer to home. 17 Athens runners took the trek this week to Boston to compete in the marathon. Many of the runners competed last year and agreed to return this year, not letting fear get in the way. Eric Ness was the first Athens finisher. He ran the race in 2 hours and 57 minutes. Keu Surita was the last local to cross the finish line with a time of 4 hours and 20 minutes. In local running news, North Hall ran away with the Region 7 3A Track and Field Championship title. After dominating the two-day event and competing through the ugly weather, the Lady Trojans finished with a total of 162.5 points. North Hall won the 4x100 relay with a run of 50.57 seconds. The race was anchored by Trinidad Puente, a key factor in bringing home the trophy. Puente raced in the 100-meter high hurdles, finishing first with 16.6 seconds. She also ran the 200-meter dash, sprinting it in 26.6 26.06 seconds and taking the top place in that event as well. Another team pushing through the weather this weekend was the Gainesville men's golf team. Gainesville competed Friday at the North Georgia High School Invitational with a 295 team score and finished Saturday with a 291 team score. These scores put Gainesville 7 strokes ahead of the second place team, ending the competition with a total 10 over par 586. Gainesville hosts the Region 8 5A Championship next Thursday at the Chattahoochee Golf Club. Although Gainesville men's golf team has recorded a perfect season thus far, UGA Equestrian has had to trot out of a bumpy season. Georgia fought through ups and downs but has brought home their 6th National Collegiate Equestrian Association Championship title. UGA handed over the SEC title to the University of South Carolina, but won the tiebreaker between the two schools when they met again in the national championship. UGA taking home the grand title. It was a weekend for rebounds as the UGA women's tennis team took home the SEC title after a disappointing end to the regular season last week. UGA first took the win against LSU and Vanderbilt, giving up only 1 point the entire weekend. UGA found themselves back on the court against the Crimson Tide for the title match, winning 4-0. Red and Black Pride was shown at all sporting events this weekend and will continue to be seen at the Gainesville Civic Center tomorrow. The Civic Center will host UGA Day. Visitors will hear from UGA's president, Moorhead, Gym Dogs coach Dana Durante, football coach Mark Richt, and is hosted by WSB's sports analyst Chuck Dowell. Doors open at 6, so have your red and black on and get ready to call the dogs. Tomorrow will be a big day for UGA fans, but today brought breaking news for all of Atlanta fans. The infamous Chick-fil-A Bowl game has had a name change once again. The event was originally named the Peach Bowl from 1968 to 1996 before it changed to the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. For the past 7 years, the game has strictly been called the Chick-fil-A Bowl game. With the playoffs being put into play this football season, Atlanta is putting the Peach back into the bowl and reclaiming it the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl once again. Brianna, typically there was a pageant that went along with these bowls, and in 1982, my mom actually was the Peach Bowl princess.
Wow, I wonder if they'll continue that tradition this year with the new game.
Next, find out about what Michelle Obama has in store for television viewers, and later we'll have an update on the Cumberland Mall shooting.
Hey, thanks for stopping by. You know, I followed your character since the first episode. I'm a big fan, big fan. Thank you. And listen, your storyline, it makes for incredible TV drama. Thing is, your drug use is very adult content. Too adult for the kids. So I'm gonna have to block you. Oh, man. Yeah. Well, have a good one.
You're a nice lady.
What if a disaster strikes without warning? What if life as you know it has completely turned on its head? What if everything familiar becomes anything but? Before a disaster turns your family's world upside down, it's up to you to be ready. Get a kit, make a plan, be informed today. Learn how at ready.gov.
Really? Buzz, what's up, man? You left some leaves burning out here.
Yeah, I just came in just for a second.
Come on, man. If it's too hot to touch, it's too hot to leave. You could torch the whole neighborhood.
It's a good point there, Smokey.
9 out of 10 wildfires are caused by humans.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
All right, give me a spot. You know my motto, safety first.
They could be dangerous. I think we should call animal control.
Animal control?
To be safe.
Don't worry.
Just...
I got this. It's a new motto.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
Today marked the 25th anniversary of the Game Boy. Nintendo's original game system launched April 21st, 1989, making the console a quarter-century old. The handheld system featured some of the first Pokemon and Zelda games.
Other classic brand names were in the headlines today. Big names like Barbie and Nike are showing up in New York standardized test questions. More than 1 million students have taken the state's Common Core test is being accused of product placement. Students say the questions seem more like advertisements.
This story will take much interest of our college viewers. One Oklahoma student paid the last semester of his college tuition in 500 pounds of pennies. He said he raised money from mowing lawns and recycling cans.
Another interesting story. Ms. Nina Duvalery has come to the defense of a Pennsylvania high school student. The student served in-school suspension for asking her to prom during a school assembly. Although she could not attend, she hopes that the school will reconsider their decision.
Another famous miss is making headlines today. The First Lady will be making an appearance on the hit ABC series Nashville. Michelle Obama will be a guest on the show on the May 7th episode.
Up next, a miraculous story on how a teen traveled from California to Hawaii.
I got no pulse, so losing. Shocking. Is it real all the time? Just had a few drinks. This can't be happening.
Are we clear?
Clear. We just buzzed. Just buzzed. You didn't tell us that, sir. You're right. This isn't happening. He'll be fine.
I feel good.
Really? No, not really.
Buzz driving. Maybe we should stop acting like it's no big deal.
Shocking.
Oh, sweetheart. Gonna give you a hand?
No thanks, Dad. I got it.
Okay. I'm gonna go fix the lamp in your room.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of children in foster care who will take you just as you are.
A full life, measured in seats, starts with the right ones early on. Car crashes are the #1 killer of children 1 through 13. Learn how to prevent deaths and injuries by using the right car seat for your child's age and size.
And we just got breaking news in the newsroom. Netflix prices are going up. The popular streaming company announced late this afternoon that it is planning to increase subscription prices for new customers by $1 or $2 per month in the coming months. Current subscribers will be unaffected for now and will be allowed to keep the existing $8 per month price. The news came as part of Netflix's first quarter earnings announcement. Netflix has nearly 36 million subscribers in the U.S. and over 48 million worldwide.
In other tech news, Apple is offering free recycling of all its used products. The company is also vowing to power all of its stores, offices, and data centers with renewable energy to reduce the pollution caused by these devices. Apple CEO Tim Cook created a 1 minute and 44-second video about the company's efforts to protect the environment, saying, quote, to us, better is a force of nature.
One university in Rhode Island does not want their graduation to be bogged down with social media updates as they ask their graduations to refrain from taking selfies at the ceremony. The Bryant University president says that he is often asked to take selfies around campus, but does not want an overload of hundreds of students trying to take selfies on stage with him as they receive their diplomas because of time constraints.
So, Andrew, what do we have in store for weather?
Well, this weekend is going to be a big weekend for us all, Chrissy, as the Twilight Criterium comes to town, and the weather for it looks really nice, actually. The weather right now for Twilight this weekend is setting up around 81 degrees for Friday afternoon. Like I said, there's going to be some showers in the morning, but 81 in the afternoon and 82 the high for Saturday as the races get geared up for Saturday evening. A lot of fun right there for the Quieterium in downtown Athens.
Well, we are very excited for the weather this evening. Will you be attending the Twilight Festival?
I think I will. I'm doing a little bit of the Athens Americana, so in between both of which, and I'll be working it as well.
Okay.
I've never been before, but I've heard great things about it. Thanks for watching.
And I'm Chrissy Robinson with Grady News Source.
This is Brianna Belser. Good night.